Hi Sharks, welcome back. Today I'm going to be working on some cards again, or some small paintings, whichever you choose. I still have a lot of my mat left from Christmas. I mean, a lot. And I may just make some springtime paintings for my family, but I won't be seeing them for a while. We don't have a big family gathering. We just get together with our own nuclear family on our holiday for Easter. Plus, so many my siblings have grandchildren now, except for my one brother and I. Well, there's only 4 of us, so but they spend time with their family. So I was thinking, well, what the heck? I'll make some Easter cards. I know I did some springtime cards a little while ago. You can refer to those old videos if you'd like. I also thought about doing this simple painting today, only in a looser format, and a couple others. I don't know. So I thought, well, what the heck? If you're trying to get some holiday cards out to family and friends for Easter, and you want to have some ideas, then I will go ahead and put some ideas to paper for you. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be using my Daniel Smith paints today. And, why don't I try using something else? Nah, I'll just use Daniel Smith because I just love Daniel Smith. I do. So we will use those. Some of you were making comments the other day on that DIY palette thing, that video that I just posted last. And somebody had mentioned also something I didn't even think about. The Prima watercolor pencils. I did a giveaway with these last summer. I believe it was my first giveaway, and you can see one of my other viewers. She won. She lives in Israel, and so I sent them on to her. And I have 3 different sets of these, but this also would make a terrific palette, and it's white, and it's hinged. These pencils are so inexpensive. They will hold 30 watercolors. I already checked. They have nice deep pans, deep lips, so there's extra space here. You can also fit brushes in, I believe. Yeah. So, but it'll hold 30. And this one also holds 30. They're about the same length. So anyway, I was hoping to see if I could get all 50 of them in here, and I can't. I was bummed. But I think from now on what I will do is when I'm traveling, take a set of my pencils along, and when I'm going out, then I will move some of my watercolors from this palette into this for going out in the field, because it's smaller, easier to handle, and I have a white mixing area on one side, so I can hold it all in one hand rather than having the separate lid with this. It would make a better traveling or plein air sketching, urban sketching palette. Also, I have this little CVS first aid bag that I received. It had a few little things in it, and you could put your first aid stuff in, and I thought, heck no, I'm using this for an urban sketching bag, and I have used it before. It's a nice little bag. Women, you could probably just throw it right in your purses, but it will hold a standard 5 by 8.5 sketchbook, barely, but you can stick it in there like that, and it fits just fine. You can fit your palette in there, your pens and pencils and everything, and it would zip right up. So that's another little thing that you can get. I got this free through CVS. I get my prescriptions at CVS, and it was a promotion they were doing. And I thought, what the heck? I'll see what this is all about. And they handed it to me, and I thought, oh, well, this is cheesy and cheap for a first aid kit. And then I got home, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this bag is perfect. So anyway, it makes a great little travel urban sketching bag if you are into that. So check out CVS and see. I got it last year. Maybe they're still giving them away. Maybe they still, you know, they may sell them. It's probably like at $12 value. I don't know. But they're a nice canvas bag and the zipper is strong. So, but it has a nylon pull or a metal pull, but it is a nylon zipper. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I think what I'm going to do is my daisy painting first. This is going to be a loose painting, so I'm going to start with a bigger brush. I'm going to start with my Silver Black Velvet size 12 brush that I have handy here, and I'm just going to go ahead and wet down my entire paper. And then we will finish this off with pen, and we're going to do it very loosely. But I'm using just my Fabriano Studio paper today. It's a 25% cotton paper. I'm using it up. I tend to use that more for my cards because I hate to say it, but cards do end up in the trash when you give them to family. So, or friends anyway. I don't know about family. Parents will usually hang on to everything their kid gives them, but I don't know about children or friends. So it's kind of like all the graduation pictures you get in spring. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to keep all these. Don't bother spending your money, you know. I feel that people are better off just not spending their money on excess graduation cards because it's unnecessary unless they're family, you know. Now, I just used a little cobalt blue there, but I want to use some phthalo. You could use Prussian also, but I want to get a little more of a greener blue in here. So I'm just going to kind of put this here and there. And that's about it for that. Now I'm going to go in with some yellow. You can use a warm yellow, a cool yellow. I'm going to use a little bit of both, actually. And I'm just going to kind of flip in like a flower. That's all I'm doing. It can blur together. Oops, I don't want green, though. Get a little bit of a different yellow here. And this one, I'm going to do sideways. And I think that'll be that. And then on the bottom, I want to take some sap or some other kind of green. If you need to mix a green, maybe some ultramarine and some yellow to get a nice green. I'm just going to use some of this. I'm trying to use up this Cotman sap because I want to get back to my Daniel Smith sap green. Okay, so that is that now. I think I might take a little darker green in there too. I've got some Green Apatite Genuine. I'm just going to flick in here and there. It's going to spread out, which is fine. This is going to be background grass. When we're done with it, it will all come together. Maybe a little different blue up here too. This is a cobalt teal that I'm using here. That's a pretty color. I don't use it enough. Okay, so that's it for that. Now I'm going to go ahead and let it dry, and then we're going to move on with the painting. Oops. Sorry about that. I was watching a movie while I let that dry. Okay, so this is dried now, and now I'm going to go ahead and move on. I'm going to take a little bit of I want a dark brown, like a sepia would be good. And I'm just going to put that right here. I'm going to go with a little smaller brush, though. This holds so much liquid that it, shh, Diesel, quiet. that it is going to sit on top here, and I don't want that. So let me pull it off and then put this back on like this. This one, I think I'm going to put right like that. Just scatter it in there. You can also flick up if you want and make little spiky things coming off, like the little hairs that you see, whatever those are called. I'm not real literate when it comes to what flowers anatomy are. And then this one down here, take a little more, and I think I'll put that one over here. Like that. And spike it up a little bit again. If you can see that, I'm trying to do it backwards here. And that's about it. Let that dry. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab some green. I'm going to use some of my sap, but I'm also going to add a little bit of my phthalo to it, just a tinge. And you could use ultramarine. I'm using phthalo because I didn't use any ultramarine in my sky anywhere, and I'd like to use one of my 3 blues. I have phthalo blue, cobalt blue, and that cobalt teal. Actually, I think I'll go with some cobalt blue and see what kind of green that gives me with my sap. Perfect. Just what I wanted. Okay. And now this one, I'm just going to have it come down like that. There. Adding some leaves here and there. Like I said, this is just a simple card. Anybody can do it. You don't even have to have any ability here because you're just plopping color down. And then afterward, we're going to add pen in to kind of give it its loose, free kind of feeling. I think that will look cool. I'm running out of green there, and I don't want to mix any more up, so there. I'll just do that. Okay, now those are in. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take some more green of different varieties. I'm going to start with a light green, probably my sap, and I'm going to take my cat's tongue brush that comes to a nice point. Any round brush will do, a flat brush will do. You're just going to use the edge of your brush and just flick up some grasses all over the place. And if you run over the front of your flower, that's fine too. Actually, before we go any further, don't run over your flower yet. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my one of my fountain pens. Okay, grabbed my platinum carbon pen. This is a nice fine pen. You want one with a fine tip if possible. And we're just going to squiggle this. I'm just going to squiggle it all around like this and make it all squiggly. Do the same thing over here to this one. And to this one. That's all there is to it. Just scribble it very loosely. And then we're going to go ahead and just draw in some petals where you might think the petals will be. So I'm going to try to do it in one continuous line. My hands are shaking. I haven't eaten yet today. And you don't have to get all the yellow in either. This one I'm being careful on because this one's going to come over. And I'm going to go this way on this one. Like that. And then this one. Nice and sloppy looking. That's the whole point of this, is to make it look very simple but sketched kind of. There. That's all there is to that. And then I'm going to go ahead and go around the stems. I may just add a little more color. And now I'm going to go with my Green Apatite Genuine by Daniel Smith, which is a semi-transparent color. It's got a little more opacity to it. If you get real heavy, it is a very heavy color. If you keep it on the waterier side, it's more semi-transparent. And then I'm going to take the side of my brush, my larger brush, with my sap, and I'm just going to dry brush. Well, it's not very dry, but that's because I'm using a squirrel brush. I just want this darker. There. Okay. Don't have your grasses all going in the same direction either. Kind of make them go every which way. Okay, so that one is done. Let that one dry. Now I'm going to go on to this one. This one I need a little bit of drawing for. So I'm going to take this. I don't like the sharpness to this. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to keep one area light. And then we'll have some clouds. I think I will do... I've got this coming up this way. It's a little bit of a hill. That's a little bit of a hill. And... I'm going to have this down here. Be my foreground. And then some trees here. Couple trees. And then I'm just putting dot marks where I think I want my trees. This will be a bush here, I think, or tree. And then more trees along here. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, again, is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get myself some sky. This time. Oh, I got green on my brush. I hate when that happens. Oh, I think my brush is cleaned enough and it's not. There. Okay. I'm just going to wet my sky. There's going to be some darker clouds over here, but we can wet that for now. Going around some mountains that are very distant, so they're low. They're not huge. Well, they probably are huge, but not close up. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and use some, either you could use some cerulean or some manganese. I'm going to actually go with my manganese blue. I like that a little bit better. And okay, I'm leaving that center white because I want my sun to go in here. I'll have a little yellow there eventually, but now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a little deeper color. I'm going to grab some of my ultramarine and just a tad of neutral tint. I'm just going to put in some clouds. It might be a little too dark yet. Going to keep some of that white there. There's just a teensy bit of cloud over here. Okay. Now we can go ahead and grab some more neutral tint or your Payne's gray or whatever for the mountains. Trying to stay away from the sky. This can be one solid color because the sun is shining towards you, so you're not going to see any detail in the mountains. I gotta dry this a little bit. I touched the area of my sky and going over it again because I have dry marks, so I don't want my color to look too different. Okay, now remember you stay cool in the distance, and as you come forward you tend to warm up more. So I'm just going to take cooler green, put that in my background here. It's going to be cooler and paler. Then I want to warm it up a little bit. I'm using a little olive green to warm it up because now the sun is beginning to shine on this area. And I'm going to continue to warm it up. I'll use a little bit of my rich green gold, which is really going to gold it up more. My trees are going to be darker, so I can go right over that tree area. Not real concerned about that. A little more olive in there, though. And now I want to add flowers to this, so it's going to be a little bit difficult unless I mask that off. So I think I'm going to go ahead and grab some masking fluid. Normally I like to use my my one with the needle, but it's downstairs in my sketch bag. So I'm just going to take an old pen, an old dip pen, a cheap one, and just going to dot in some spots for flowers here and there if I can get it to work. I'm just spreading the pen open to put the dots down by pressing. They want to be bigger toward the front. Oh, didn't get down there deep enough, and now I went too deep, so it's all over my pen. There's a big one. Another big one. It's a little too big, but that's okay. Another thing you can do is take a silicone, oops, I just busted my pen. That's how cheap that is. It's old. You can use a silicone blender. You can use an old paintbrush, one of these dental brushes. I think I'm going to use that for right now. We'll see how that works. It's not as round, but that's okay. Just dab it all over. And then let it dry. I might just spread this out and make it like a little flock of flowers. I like that idea better than a big lump. It'll work. Okay, now go ahead and let that dry. Just use what you got. Do not dry this with a dryer. You want to let masking fluid dry on its own. I suppose if you're using a hair dryer, you could do it on its cool setting, but you don't want any heat with it, because if you do that, you're going to end up adhering it permanently to your landscape. Now, while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my trees in. So I'm going to grab my brush, just a small brush, and I'm going to grab some green, mix it up here, and I'm just going to go ahead and put some trees in over here. I need a little bit different green though. That matches my other one a little too much. There we go. Not a lot of detail on these trees because they're way off in the distance. Oh, those birds sound so pretty outside. Sorry, my chair always squeaks. This used to be my husband's old office chair at work, and I gave him a new one, and they were going to throw it out. And I was like, no, if it's still comfortable, bring it home. And it is so comfortable. It's just not the prettiest thing, but that's okay. I've got paint on the arms. I get a little wild. This one I'm bringing all the way down. Can't see the trunk very much. And then I'm going to have a whole line of trees over here. Kind of all smearing together. There we go. I'm going to go back to that one again, and I'm going to add a little bit of Prussian into my green, just to deepen it a little more, and adding this back onto my trees here and there. Not all over, just in the spots that would be thicker. This is a Cosmo top. I'm sorry, no. It's a Princeton Heritage cat's tongue, size 6 that I'm using. I like this brush. It's a synthetic brush by Princeton. They make good brushes. Da Vinci makes really good brushes as well. Their brushes tend to be very expensive, but they're very well made. They're all handmade. These, I think, I'm not sure if they're machine made or handmade. Okay, so I'm done with that. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the trunk on. I'm just going to use some of my neutral tint again. Keep the color palette simple. Can make it very dark, almost a black. Remember, the sun is going to be shining toward us. So, okay, so now that's dry. And we're just going to go ahead and add the grass to the front. So, grab my bigger brush again, and you'll want to warm it up a little bit in the front. Whoops, I grabbed the wrong one. I'm going to use a lighter green too to start, and I'm going to add some of my olive to it. I want some sap. Okay. Doesn't matter how thick or thin this grass is that I'm flicking up, because it's all going to blend in. It is mixing in with the wet paper, so it's going to spread out. But that just gives it a different, you'll be able to see the grass changing anyway. Now let that dry. Do not dry it with a dryer to speed it up, because you have your masking fluid down. Now while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit to the sun here. I want to put some yellow in, but I want it to be pale, very pale and very light. So I'm going to just take a little bit of aureolin yellow. I got to clean it off a bit though, because it always ends up with green in it, or blue in it, or whatever. And I'm just gonna water it way down. Want it very pale. And I'm just flicking in some rays of sunshine. Bringing it down. And I'm just going to leave this nice and rounded here because the sun is white. There. Oops, my phone is ringing. So that is just about dry. There's something on there. I don't know what that is. And this is taking a little bit longer because it was so wet. You got to wait until it's thoroughly dry before lifting off masking fluid because masking fluid will tear the paper unless it's fully dry. So if you have problems with your paper tearing, it could be that you're getting a little too quick to taking that off. That's just one possibility. That's usually what happens. So I'm just going to let that dry. You can go ahead and take this off of here. And while that is drying, I can make my card up. So I'll take this off. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead. I cut this to go on the back of the card here. I think I'm going to put this down first. And then I'll put my bow. Oh, uh-oh, is that gone already? No. No, I'm out already. Shoot, I hate running out of that. There's never enough in those. Okay, so that's down. Now, I'm going to have to adhere this down. And I'm not sure. I think I can use either orange or maybe I'll use yellow ribbon. I've got light blue ribbon. That would be pretty too. No, that won't look right. I think I'll try going with the orange here, and we'll see what the orange looks like under here. Since not much of that orange paper will show. And then I'll just take a piece of tape and I'll tape it down underneath. I want to see what it looks like though. Oh yeah, I like the orange. Okay. So I'm just going to take a piece of tape and just tape it down right there. That'll hold it in place so it doesn't move around. And I've got to tape that down. I wonder if I have any double-sided tape here. Yeah, I do. Good. That'll work. And lay that flat. There we go. Dull scissors. And I'm just going to tie this in a bow. I got way too much ribbon this time. That was a waste. There we go. You can tape those down if you've got some dots or something. I'm just going to leave it like that. And then you can put your stuff. Uh-oh, look what I did. For this mistake card, instead of cutting it and then making a heavy, super heavy card, I'm just going to take this and put it in the center. I'm going to tape it on the one side so that that side doesn't lift. So I will just go like that, fold that over, and then take the center. This part I'm going to tape, just a little, not a lot. I'm going to just tape this one side down. And that way, I'll put it in the, try to make it even, top to bottom. And do that. There we go. And now I've solved the problem with my handmade by thing on the inside. And then this can just be like that. Actually, maybe I can tape the other side. I don't think it's going to pull out. Let's see if when I pull it open. Yeah, I can tape the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and tape both sides. I thought it would pull, but it's not pulling back. So, oh yeah, it is. Got it. That's what I was afraid would happen. So I'll just open it up and do this, but then when I close it, it's going to want to come over. Just go there. There we go. That should be good. Yeah, perfect. Now it's a really thick card, but you can write on the inside of this then. So that's it. That's how I fixed it. Okay, so this is dry now, so let's go back to this. And I'm going to take off my masking fluid. There. Make sure I got it all off of there. I did. And now I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a, what color will I use? So I'm going to use kind of a purple color. Let's see. Take some of my cobalt violet and let's see what this looks like. Oh, it's a little dark. I'm going to add a little bit of my quinacridone pink to it. Brighten it up a little bit. And then just fill in all the white spots. That's all you got to do. Now I'm just taking some other greens and I am making grass again. Just in the forefront of the picture. And I left some of the little dots white. Okay, and then that one's done, I think. See, I don't know if I like how this one turned out. It could improve once you get the tape off, though, you know, so that's why I always like to take the tape off and see what I've got underneath. I guess it's not too bad. Okay, and then that can be used for another card. And this one I don't think I would put a ribbon around because I don't want to block the part that you know, would be in the front here. So you could put a ribbon at the top of the card maybe. But okay, so here are the 2 cards that I've done today. Those are finished, and this could be used for anything. I mean, well, both of them could be used for anything. Get well soon, Easter, whatever. Father's Day, Mother's Day. So just play with it. Come up with things. If you want to practice little landscape paintings, that's a good way to practice your paintings, and then just put them on a card and send them out to people. So everybody have a great day. Remember, be courageous, paint with wild abandon, and most of all, be kind to each other. God bless you. Bye-bye.